think dude respectfully is taken away from his aura of who he is, who people respect him to be.
If you think about him, here's a clown. Like, I love the hip-hop culture. I'm in love with the hip-hop culture. Blood, sweat, and tears went in my movement for the hip-hop culture. Here's a man that disrespect the dead, Tupac, Nipsey Hussle. You know, people that mean something to us. You know, 21 Savage. I look at how he, you know, get on the phone on his clubhouse with another rat.
Popped off at me first saying my podcasting and business was 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
I told him I'm gonna do what I want to do. I don't give a fuck who he ratted on.
Right.
That ain't my business. The people he ratted on, handle your business. My homies ain't with him. I'm not telling him what y'all can and can't do, right? He's under my protection. Now, if you pull up on him and I'm there, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make sure I get home safe.
But what's the difference if you got 6ix9ine and he got finesse? Why can't they just be two snitching artists that do music together and y'all stay out of it?
That's my stance.
That's your...
J Prince just dropped a bombshell. He's calling out Wack 100 for way more than just being a snitch. He's saying Wack's the reason certain rappers walk free, while others get slammed with hard time. If Wack's been the fixer all along, then who's the real boss behind the curtain? Is he shielding these artists or covering up something way deeper? Now, if you've been tapped into the streets, this ain't even new. Wack 100's name been ringing with that Fed talk for years. Word is he's been working with the Fed so long, he gets tipped off before the drama even hits the blogs. But J Prince didn't just throw around the word snitch. He went even further, saying Wack is the reason some rappers are untouchable. That's a whole different level of power right there. And guess who's at the top of that list? The Game, 6ix9ine, and Blueface. All three of them tight with Wack. All three somehow always sidestepping major legal heat, both in court and on the streets. So let's not just ask if Wack's a snitch. Let's ask, who's he keeping safe and what's he keeping under wraps? Take the Game, for example. His name been wrapped up in lawsuits, messy scandals, and public beefs that could have ended everything. One case alone had him owing $7 million. That should have crushed him, but it didn't. Why? Wack. He didn't just back Game. He locked down Game's masters, took control of his royalties, and moved like he owned the whole catalog. That's not just support, that's power play. Wack made himself the gatekeeper of every dollar tied to Game's name. Want to sue Game? You gotta go through Wack first. Want a slice of Game's music? Wack already got his cut locked in. And when folks said that $7 million judgment was out of line, Wack didn't flinch. He stood tall, like he was guarding his investment, not just protecting a rapper.
Original filing was like for like $1 million, $2 million, right? But for whatever reason, because the judge was feeling the way he was feeling, he bumped that shit up to like 5 million, 7 million, some crazy shit.
So now you gotta wonder, was that loyalty or straight up leverage? Because it's starting to look like Wack ain't just managing these rappers. He's got his hands on the keys to their whole survival. He's not a manager, he's the landlord of their careers. Look at 6ix9ine, the rainbow-haired rapper who turned courtroom informant and got labeled the poster boy for snitching. After he folded in court, the rap game left him in the dirt. Labels cut ties. OGs didn't want to be seen near him. His name was poison. Nobody was messing with him. Dude was done. Until Wack stepped in and scooped him up like he was on the clearance rack. Rebuilt his contracts, handed him a platform on Clubhouse, and even hit him with gas money when he was flat broke. That wasn't business. That was a full-on resurrection mission. Wack didn't just revive a career. He brought a pariah back from the dead like nothing ever happened. No industry cosigns, no street respect, just media games and what felt like top-level protection. And somehow 6ix9ine been moving around untouched in cities where he should have been shut down on sight. And when J Prince called out the madness months ago, Wack didn't backtrack. He stood firm, said 6ix9ine is my guy, and made it real clear. He's protecting him no matter what.
Popped off at me first saying my podcasting and business was 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
I told him I'm gonna do what I want to do. I don't give a fuck who he ratted on.
Right.
That ain't my business. The people he ratted on, handle your business. My homies ain't with him. I'm not telling him what y'all can and can't do, right? He's under my protection. Now, if you pull up on him and I'm there, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make sure I get home safe.
But what's the difference if you got 6ix9ine and he got Finesse? Why can't they just be two snitching artists that do music together and y'all stay out of it?
That's my stance.
That's your.
That ain't loyalty. That's a chess move. Wack's playing pieces like someone who knows exactly where the secrets are buried and who to keep in check. And then you got Blueface. Man's life is a walking headline. Fights, arrests, restraining orders, viral mess-ups. It's like he got a drama subscription. Every week something new. But here's the crazy part. Every time something goes down, Wack's already talking before the footage even leaks. Before the charges hit the net, he's on Clubhouse spinning the story like it's light work. He ain't reacting. He's pre-spinning, like he got tomorrow's court schedule on his phone. Blueface gets in trouble, boom, Wack grabs.
When you found out that Wack was working with 6ix9ine, what was your original reaction?
I don't even know how that happened, to be honest with you, but it was just like,
You're like, oh, okay, that's
like,
what...
okay, yeah, like it was one of those, like not like he's weird. It was more like
That's when things stop being shady and start looking straight up federal. Word on the street is Wack didn't just stop at rappers. He had Birdman covered too. Back in 2018, they came together on some big league moves, launching Cash Money West under Universal with a massive $20 million behind it. That wasn't just some quick collab. That was real power building on the West Coast. They were lining up artists like Savi Third, making serious noise. But it all fell apart fast. The partnership didn't just fade. It allegedly got nasty. Wack jumped on Clubhouse, going off. He even called Birdman's artist BG a rat. And this was right after BG touched down from a 14-year prison stretch. Now who does that to someone fresh out? Wack didn't just burn bridges. He lit a fire with names that hold real weight.
Couldn't represent where you come from and what's supporting you. So now I got to cut you.
Yeah, he biting the hand, huh?
So I'm not answering Birdman's call.
And instead of settling it behind closed doors like grown men, Wack claimed Birdman kept blowing up his phone, begging for a private convo, but Wack wasn't having it. He aired him out loud and public. Zero respect. Straight disrespectful. Even when BG's own former cellmate vouched that BG never snitched, Wack wouldn't back down. He stood on his accusations with no paperwork, no proof, just straight up loud talk. That move burned that bridge to ashes. But here's where it cuts deeper. Suge Knight from behind bars allegedly warned Birdman years ago, said Wack moved funny and couldn't be trusted, called him shady from the jump. And now, looking back, Suge might have been the only one who saw the setup before it even happened. Wack's got a clear pattern. If you're not locked in with him anymore, he'll flip the whole script. Say your name with the word snitch and let the internet go wild with it. Just look at what happened with Big U. These two were solid for years, then boom. Wack started throwing heavy dirt on Big U's name, from RICO rumors to talk about serious unsolved cases. And here's where it really gets wild. Wack allegedly texted Big U's wife before his arrest, told her flat out he needs to leave. The whole message read like a federal heads up, like Wack knew the heat was coming and gave her a warning before the hammer dropped.
All right, so yeah, after you got that message, after you got the message, you hit up Big U's wife. You said, "Sis, 911. One sec, let me get solo." And you gave him a heads up.
What I tell him?
You said, "One sec, let me get solo. He needs to leave. Bad." In caps, all caps. He needs to leave.
I said so bad, right?
Yeah, so bad.
And not long after that, boom, Big U got slammed with the federal case. So how does Wack always know what's coming before it hits? How's he always one step ahead like he got tomorrow's headlines today? People ain't crazy from wondering if Wack's connected on a whole nother level, like real plugged in with the feds. Then came the shocking twist, the Rashawn Williams case. A high school football player dies under suspicious circumstances. And out of nowhere, Wack hops on Clubhouse claiming Big U's DNA was found under the boy's fingernails. Like, where is Wack even getting this info from?
If anything, it's alarming him because there's a good chance he probably didn't know that his DNA came back up under that boy's fingernails.
Now hold up, that ain't regular street talk. That's sealed investigation info. Stuff like that don't just float around. You only know details like that if someone deep on the inside told you, or if you are the inside. And get this, just 2 days after Wack let that slip on Clubhouse, the feds swooped in and picked up Big U. That timing, way too perfect to brush off as coincidence. Now picture being Big U, someone you once called family, just aired out supposed evidence publicly, linking you to a whole case. Like, what kind of man does that? That's not just betrayal, that's a setup vibe. And here's where it takes a turn. Right before Big U turned himself in on the RICO charges, he hopped on video and put it all out there. Called out Wack 100 by name and straight up accused him of being tied in with the FBI.
And I just want to say this to y'all. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about Wack. Wack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff.
Wack's always flapping his gums on Clubhouse. That's his war zone. Every time he grabs a mic, it's like he's handing out snitch labels like it's free samples at a store. Gunna, BG, even big industry names who ain't even been charged. If they ain't cool with him no more, he's throwing dirt on their name. He even claimed Gunna had a 2-hour interrogation video and said he was gonna leak it. But guess what? Nothing ever dropped. Just more talk, more noise. Classic Wack move. Always talking, barely proving anything.
You some time, I don't know, 24 hours, 12 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 1 hour, I don't know. I'm gonna give you some time though, Gunna, for you to go ahead on and confess.
Same playbook, different name. He did BG the same way, and half the people Wack calls rats, no paperwork, no proof, just noise. That's the game he runs. When Wack starts yelling, people stop watching him. It's misdirection, smoke and mirrors. He shouts rat, while moving exactly like one behind the scenes. Now let's get into the heavy stuff. Wiretaps. Court docs allegedly name-dropped Wack multiple times in a 2022 federal wiretap. Members of the Rollin' 60s were caught talking about how they wanted to lay hands on Wack. Said straight up he was a problem. Too many people ready to press him. But here's the twist. He never gets touched. Not in the streets, not in court. And that's got people thinking even harder. Why is he always in the middle of mess but never in the paperwork? Never a single legal hit sticking? So folks started digging deeper, way back to 2005. That year, Wack and his brother got popped in Texas, caught with illegal firearms, both of them convicted felons at the time. That should have been a wrap, but the case vanished. It got dropped quiet, and Wack didn't just walk. He bounced from jail to jail, even passed through federal spots, then got released. No trial, no charges. Just disappeared from the system like magic. That's when the whispers started. Maybe he flipped back then. Maybe that's the moment he linked up with the feds. Cause ever since that case, Wack's been moving different. Next thing you know, he's in LA, rubbing elbows with Death Row, Suge Knight, and leveling up with no setbacks. No jail, no heat, just momentum. Too smooth, too fast, like someone cleared the way. And when you really look at it, it all lines up. Wack ain't just a manager. He's the fixer, the cleanup man, a walking bridge between the streets and the system. Wack don't just manage artists. He protects the ones he rocks with for real. The Game, 6ix9ine, Blueface. When they catch heat, Wack steps in like clockwork. Not just handling business, but flipping the legal smoke too. He controls the story, keeps the headlines clean, and somehow, they always slide right past the mess. Now with Jay Prince saying out loud that Wack might be using federal ties to protect select rappers, it ain't sounding like some crazy conspiracy no more. It's starting to look like a whole strategy. Look at the lineup. Wack been managing the game for years, helped dodge that $7 million payout, claimed ownership of the man's royalties, and moves like he owns the entire catalog. That ain't just damage control. That's full control. Then there's 6ix9ine. After the whole world branded him a rat, Wack was the only one standing by him. Rebuilt his deals, gave him gas money, threw him on Clubhouse, and pushed him right back into the spotlight like none of it ever happened. And Blueface? His name stays tied to legal mess, week after week. But somehow it never blows up too big. Why? Because Wack grabs the mic, spins the whole thing, reframes it, and keeps it off the radar. These ain't just artists, they're assets. Investments Wack protects, and maybe even uses when it benefits him. But if you fall out of line, it's a wrap. Gunna, BG, Big U. Soon as they cross Wack, they get thrown to the wolves. But the game, 6ix9ine, Blueface, they stay untouched. If you're useful to him, you get saved. If not, you're left out there to burn. And the internet ain't blind. Folks been talking. One dude even said, Rat 100 is a professional storytelling snitch. Another hit harder, saying, you can tell Wack working with the feds, man talks way too much. Lesson learned, stay far away from loudmouths who love to gossip. Cause if Wack's really picking who to protect and who to expose, then he's not just a manager, he's a power broker. Not just in hip-hop, but behind the scenes in the shadows of it all. And if J Prince just cracked the door open, the real question is, who's the name Wack still hiding back there? Because once that name drops, it won't just shake the rap game, it might bring the whole tower crashing down. If you're feeling this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear the truth. We'll catch you on the next one.